The rusted hangar door groaned open with a screech that echoed across the abandoned spaceport. James wiped sweat from his brow as he and Lisa stepped into the cavernous structure, their flashlights cutting through decades of accumulated dust and shadows. Command said this place has been empty for 40 years, Lisa muttered, adjusting her salvage scanner. Ever since the hegemony pulled out of this sector. James nodded, sweeping his light across the hangar's interior. Most of the berths were empty, containing nothing but oil stains and forgotten machinery. But at the far end, shrouded in shadows and draped with ancient tarps, sat something massive. Well, well, he said, a grin spreading across his face. Looks like Command was wrong. They approached the covered shape, their footsteps echoing in the vast space. Even beneath the heavy canvas, they could make out the sleek lines of what appeared to be a mid-sized cruiser. James grabbed one corner of the tarp while Lisa took another. On 3, he said. 1, 2. They pulled, and the ancient fabric fell away in a cloud of dust, revealing a ship unlike anything either of them had ever seen. Its hull was a deep obsidian black, seamlessly smooth except for strange geometric patterns that seemed to shift and flow when viewed directly. The design was clearly non-human, yet somehow familiar. That's not hegemony tech, Lisa whispered, running her scanner over the hull. The readings are strange. The metal composition doesn't match anything in our databases. James circled the vessel, looking for an entry point. The ship was roughly cylindrical, about 80 meters long, with what appeared to be sensor arrays or weapons clustered near the front. No visible engines, no obvious thrust vectors, just that smooth, impossible surface. There, Lisa called out, pointing to a section of the hull that looked slightly different. That might be an airlock. As they approached, James noticed something that made his blood run cold. Carved into the deck plating beneath the ship, worn but still legible, were human letters spelling out a single word: defiance. Lisa, he said quietly, I think this is human tech. She looked up from her scanner, confusion evident on her face. That's impossible. We don't have anything like this. The materials alone are beyond our current capabilities. Maybe not current. Capabilities, James said, studying the strange patterns on the hull. But what if this is from our future? Before Lisa could respond, the patterns on the ship's surface began to glow with a soft blue light. The illumination spread across the hull like neural pathways firing, pulsing with an almost organic rhythm. James, a voice said, clear and unmistakably human, emanating from the ship itself. Lisa. They both froze. The voice was neither male nor female, but somehow carried the weight of vast experience and unmistakable warmth. You are not the first humans to find me, the ship continued. Nor will you be the last, but you are the ones I have been waiting for. Lisa's scanner was going haywire, readings fluctuating wildly. How do you know our names? I know because I am you, the ship replied, or rather I am what you become. I am the culmination of humanity's greatest achievement and its most desperate hour. James found his voice. You're from the future? In a sense. Time, I have learned, is not as linear as your species currently believes. I exist in your present, because I chose to be here because this moment, this discovery is where it all begins. The glow intensified, and suddenly a section of the hull simply wasn't there anymore. Not opened, not retracted, simply absent, revealing a softly lit interior that defied the ship's external dimensions. Please, the ship said. Come aboard. There is much I need to show you. Lisa grabbed James's arm. This could be dangerous. We don't know what we're dealing with. But James was already moving toward the impossible opening. Everything humanity has ever achieved started with someone taking a risk, he said. Besides, if this really is human technology from the future, then we made it home. They stepped inside, and the interior was breathtaking. The walls weren't walls, but flowing surfaces of the same dark material, alive with shifting patterns of light. Command interfaces that responded to thought rather than touch. Displays showing star maps, of unprecedented detail and accuracy, The hegemony didn't abandon this sector 40 years ago, the ship explained as they explored. They were driven out, by me, by what humanity becomes when pushed to the brink of extinction. Lisa stopped before a display showing Earth, but not the Earth they knew. This one was scarred, partially dark, clearly devastated. What happened? The hegemony grew tired of allowing younger species to exist independently. They decided that humans, in particular, had become too unpredictable, too resourceful. The extermination fleets launched 3 years from your current time. James felt a chill run down his spine. 3 years? But humanity survived, the ship continued, its voice carrying pride and sadness in equal measure. Your species has a remarkable capacity for adaptation. When faced with annihilation, you didn't surrender. You evolved. You transcended the limitations of flesh and steel and became something new. The ship's consciousness touched their minds gently, sharing visions of the war to come. Massive battles in space, Earth cities burning, humanity's colonies scattered and desperate. But also images of hope, humans merging with their technology, consciousness transferring to ships like this one, becoming something beyond biological limitations. I volunteered to come back, the ship said, to plant the seeds of what we would become. The knowledge you need to survive is here, in my memory banks. The technology to build ships like me, to enhance human consciousness, to become more than the sum of your parts. Lisa was studying the star charts, her expression growing more amazed by the moment. These navigation routes, they show paths through space we've never imagined, shortcuts that would cut interstellar travel time by decades. The first gift, the ship said, but not the most important one. What is? James asked. Hope, the ship replied simply. The knowledge that when the universe tries to crush humanity, you don't break, you become unbreakable. As they spent hours aboard the vessel, downloading terabytes of advanced technology and tactical information, James began to understand the true purpose of their discovery. This wasn't just about advanced weapons or faster ships. You're not just giving us the tools to fight, he realized. You're showing us what we can become. Exactly, the ship confirmed. The hegemony expects to face the same humans they've always known, clever, resourceful, but ultimately limited by biology and conventional thinking. They cannot imagine what you become when survival itself forces evolution. When they finally prepared to leave, carrying data storage devices filled with impossible knowledge, the ship had one final message. Remember, it said, what makes humanity special isn't our intelligence or our technology. It's our refusal to accept defeat. When the universe says no, humanity says, watch me. As James and Lisa walked back across the abandoned spaceport, they both knew their lives, and humanity's future had changed forever. Above them, stars that had seemed impossibly distant now felt within reach. Behind them, the ship's glow faded, but its message remained clear. Humanity would not go quietly into extinction. They would become something the universe had never seen before, something unbreakable,